Hey there, everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon to you. I've been outside trimming up some plants, especially my Shasta daisies. They tend to really want to propagate this time of year, so I cut them back just a wee bit and made some new plants out of them. Today, we're going to do some collage strips. I saw a great video by the wonderful Joie de Fi, and she was doing collage strips, and I was like, oh shoot, that looks like some fun. And I thought, we'll just sit here and do some collage strips. I'll put Joey's video in the description box below so you can kind of see how she did hers. She suggested like using some paper, some cardstock that you weren't crazy about, and I thought, well, that's I like this, but I'm not in love with it, right? So I thought that we would transform these. I think that they would really be very sweet to use in your journals, to be able to just add a little punch, add a little fun to some journals. So let's just see how this goes. I really don't have a plan. It's almost supper time. I did get the dogs fed, so that's good. So Mia is up here right now, so she won't be... When she gets hungry, she does the hungry dance. And I mean, like literally, she starts dancing around and prancing and things like that. Joey has such a wonderful approach. I love to watch her create. I'm not quite as exacting as she is. Her results are just stellar. And she always like has this... she has like a printable of directions that you can follow to create what she's creating. So she's one of those creators that's super thoughtful and super smart. So I really do love to watch her. What we're going to do right now is and this is like Joey's first step, is to add a bit of add some text pages, and she suggests that you use like different colors, and the older a text page gets, the more it patinas up, right? It gets kind of beautiful and brown, and just develops it just develops a life of its own when it gets like that. So I wanted to just stick on now the text page that I'm using is from a Life magazine book about the body, and it's really interesting, but I just had a little page. I tend to watch videos, and I have to tell you, I don't watch a lot of videos. I simply don't have a lot of time to do things like that these days. But I think it's so interesting to kind of put your own spin on what you see, which is exactly what I'm doing here, because at the time that I saw Joy's video, I did not have a printer, but by golly, my fellow went out and bought us a printer the other day, which I just like, wow. He always needs a printer to print lyrics, for when he's working on his acoustic shows. And he's like one of those super dedicated musicians. He makes sure when he plays that he takes requests, and he's playing, he even has like, if he sees kids in the audience, then he does like a few little kids song, like Candy Rock, the Big Rock Candy Mountain and things like that. But anyway, so he comes home and he's like, oh, I bought us a printer. And I'm like, well, that is super cool. But of course it would not work, of course, with my phone. but I think we got it straightened out. It's a little frustrating. I'll never forget that he bought us a printer one time, and he came in and he brought it in the apartment, and he set it up, and he said, "This is really nice." And I was like, "I know." He said, "But you can't touch it." Like, what? When I touch electrical things, they tend to stop working. So it's like, okay, well, I do get to where you're coming from with that. It's like a watch, you know. Watches often don't work on my wrist, but oh well. Okay, I think we've about gotten enough. Now, I can't remember what Joy did next. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these numbers from the kitty cat calendar that my friends give me. And the numbers, I'll just use those as like focal thingy. Hey, I found some more. Ooh, I found some more text page. It seems like Joy went this way. I think she went, you know, to pull your eye up the page, maybe. I just can't remember. So we're just gonna do whatever. I am watching a really good Netflix series, you guys. It's called Pieces of Her. And I read the book several years ago. When I started watching the movie, the series on Netflix, I was like, wait a minute. I think I've seen this or read it or something. And sure enough, it was like, oh, you know, I have read that. Okay, I think we're going to use these gorgeous sunflowers and kind of just put those, drop those in here. And I think this is one of the steps, but like I said, you know, watch Wonderful Joey's video to capture the real essence of what she was doing. But this is fun, and it's like, you know, be a really great start project in the morning over coffee or something like that. I really have got to get back to doing art. I mean, basically, because art is income, I find myself just kind of constantly, you know, working on books and thinking about books and binding books and making journals and creating journals and wanting to, you know, I always feel like I need to up my game as far as the journal thing goes. Oh, it would probably be simpler to kind of, you know, sort of do the exact same thing, but I get kind of bored doing the exact same thing. So right now I'm making journals out of recycled padded envelopes, and that's been loads of fun because they're cozy. They are cozy little journals. They feel good in your hand. You know, they've got that puffy, sweet feel to them. And I do like that. And that's been tons of fun. I do like to create different kinds of journals, different kinds of art, different kinds of things. You know, I don't like being stuck in a rut. It's a bad place to get, you know, creatively stuck. You lose your flow, you lose your mojo. It ain't a good place to be. But, you know, you're following your passion, and your passion is not always like the super easiest thing in the world, is it? You know, people say, follow your passion, and like, that sounds so easy, but it's not. Especially if you're, if you, have to make your passion into your productivity. But, that's okay too. I was a musician, and, I was a singer, I was a songwriter, I was in bands, I did some touring, and then it's like, it would be maybe have been a better idea to just enjoy music. And then after I did all that, I was a booking agent. And then after that, I was a music publicist. So, I kind of turned that music thing into a career, a living. Most people wouldn't think that it was a living, but, it was, sort of, kind of. I do kind of, sometimes when you get older, you kind of wish that you would have done things differently, and, kind of do wish that, but, your chips fall where your chips fall. No doubt about it. I'm just I like these butterflies, and I think Joy did mention, some focal imagery here. So I took those out of this piece of paper that I'm working with. It's got some nice color on it. Okay, so, a few little focal-y things here. Focal-y things. Okay. I have some solid color paper, and I think that was maybe one of the things that Joy used as well. And it seems like she started like putting she worked up, and then poor Joy, she's probably going to go, that is not the way I did that. But I only had Tom to like watch that video once. I'm sorry, Joey. And then you I like this because I can use my glue stick. So it makes it quick and easy and flowy and nice. So I did some like that, and then I have another piece over here that is like a golden color. It's really pretty. And Joey, at the very end, she added some sequins. Oh goodness, really pretty. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or not, but it was like really gorgeous. And I think she maybe she was very specific about leaving, you don't want to entirely cover the paper. You want to leave the background color. And she suggested using, like I said at the very beginning, paper that you weren't just crazy about. Maybe it was kind of an off color, or, you just weren't that nuts about it. In every paper pad, there are papers that, are like, ooh, what am I going to do with that, right? Okay, I feel like we need just a little bit more. So this is from an old book. I think it was a library book. It smells good. It has that sweet library smell to it. My library was having a book sale, and I picked up some books for my eBay store. I'm kind of happy about that. Nothing like that smell, you know. Then when you pick up a book that has that smell, oh, it's heavenly. Takes me back to when I used to go to the library in my hometown. And then, you know, I took my boys to that library. We'd always go get books and check out books. And, oh, goodness, those were the days. Those were the days, and I thought they were so complicated. It's like, that was nothing compared to, like, now. When things are really complicated, you know, in the world. In the world, you know, in general, and in your, you know, your personal world as well. Joy suggested putting some, I think she was using kind of some of these things. So let's do a little bit of cutting. And I thought, I have been using the heck out of this Distress ink, and it's starting to, poor little Distress ink is starting to kind of come apart. I'll have to source some more of that. So we're just going to fussy cut around these images. You know, this is a gorgeous Edith Holton book. I have used it and used it and used it and used it. I would love to find like more of these because I think the images are just stellar. And it's really fun to use, you know, American-made things. And that, you know, this Edith Holton book is, I mean, it is American-made, so it's nice to be able to use something like this. I think I'm going to do 2 out of this one, y'all. Remind me to put that Distress ink on there because I will forget. And I think I'll just use like maybe 3 of these images, and then I've got some sweet bird imagery over here, so I'm going to use that. And then if you are one of my patrons, I think what I'm going to do is make you guys a printable. I'm going to scan these, and then you can have a printable. Oh my gosh, and I've got a printer scanner now that I can touch, so I'll probably just use my phone because we know how that stuff kind of goes. Lordy. I don't know what that is. I think it's some sort of electrical something or another, maybe. I just don't know. I don't dare touch Chris's phone like when I'm dusting or cleaning. I get a ruler and just kind of scoot it. Because really, if I touch his phone, it'll stop working too. I've had fairly good luck with my phone. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Okay. All right. There's that. Oh, crazy kind of mushrooms. It's almost time for my mushrooms to come up in my yard, and they are yellow, and I don't know what kind of mushrooms they are, but they are wild. And the squirrels will eat them, and then they'll roll in the yard. It's hilarious. Like, they have a hallucinogenic mushroom. The dogs do not go in the front yard, so I know you're probably thinking about that. Don't let your doggies eat the mushrooms. Okay. Joy says it's okay if things fall off the page as well. And this is getting a wee crowded. So I think that we're going to add the focal imagery on here. And then, because Tammy's getting super hungry, we're going to stop right there. let's do some numbers. Sticking, everything's sticking. Looks fun, doesn't it? I think I need another butterfly. So we'll get us another butterfly over here. I think that I'm gonna maybe keep all these things on my desk and maybe do a couple more of these in the morning with some tea. Coffee is not agreeing with me at the moment. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Do that. The blue mushrooms look super cool because that was the predominant color of these of this paper that I started out with. So that looks super cool right there. Kind of purpley indigo blue-ish color. All right, so we got that. Now let's do 3 of these. 1. Again, Joy says it's okay if they go off the strip. She says that's part of the coolness of it, and I do agree. 3. And then let's do some numbers, because that's fun. Oh, a great way to like use your calendar scraps, right? Okay. Oh, sorry, my fingers. I forgot to forgot to get a wet cloth, so I didn't get. Okay. I like that this says follow. I think I'm going to use that. As well. Follow. Oh, that really jazzed that up, didn't it? It's kind of fun. Let's see if we can find another word somewhere. Might not be able to find one. Well, there's one right there. Toadstools. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed just doing a little art project. Like I said, I think I'm just going to leave these little bits and bobs on my work desk and do a bit more tomorrow morning, because I found this super refreshing and super fun. You can use these for all kinds of things. Tear them apart. use them as bookmarks. You know, you've got a 2x12 piece, which is a great size to work with. Joy, thank you. You are always refreshing, and you're always fun to watch, and we appreciate you being in this community. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. See you later.